On our way back to Brunswick now, probably not getting home until midnight almost midnight from the Meadows. I'm not going to complain. Lucked out with the weather. It rained hard. Right before we got there, the rain kind of dissipated when I went on the track. The race I had off, it poured rain. The sun almost came out by the time I come on the track the next race. I'm not going to complain about the weather. I was hot by the end of the night because I had that rain gear on. But not a bad night. I know I'd answered I'll start with Looks Like Money because that's who I drove. One of my partners, Johnny, on the horse, Fairball, said, I'm surprised. What did he say? I'm surprised you went all the way over there to not move Looks Like Money. Now, in a text message, I took that, for what it's worth. Why didn't you move Looks Like Money? Well, I'll tell you why. The same thing I told Johnny. If you think that I can continue just to gut this horse on the front end, eventually something's going to happen, right? Eventually he's going to get hurt or he's going to get beat up, and I don't want that. That horse, that Chapelier horse, beat me fair and square last week, 53 and a piece, sat on my back. I knew that Ronnie was going to beat me out. The only way that I could get near the front was to quarter pole him to the front. I did not want to do that tonight. I knew. It wasn't hard to pick up the program and know that it was going to line up Chapelier, Burke's horse, and me. And I had every intention of moving him getting into the last turn. Although Money doesn't trot the last turn the greatest, he trots it far cry better than Chapelier. That I'm sure of. But having said that, I also didn't want to move him first over halfway down the backstretch. I just want to creep along just a little bit more. What I want to do is kind of move to the outside and then drop the hammer getting into the last turn. Well, Jeremy come off my wheel like he had a good horse. And I actually moved. You watch the race. I moved out thinking he was going to say, all right, go ahead and I'll just follow you. No, he wanted to come 100 with this horse. Now, at that point, I'm thinking to myself, well, I can't force my way out. I'm going to get tossed. And it doesn't matter anyway. Jeremy's horse is not good enough. He's not going to get close to Dave. And if Dave's horse can trot just a little bit in the last turn, Ronnie might move out of the 2-hole. But Ronnie's he's no dummy. He knows if he moves out of the 2-hole with his horse, who, by the way, doesn't trot the last turn that great, now I'm right up on Dave's bumper coming into the stretch. Worst case in that scenario is Ronnie clears, I too sneak to the outside, and I'm second or I run him down. Worst case scenario, he vacates the 2-hole, I take it up, I drop into the pass lane, and I'm a winner. And in hindsight, I'm the same as you. I win the race. If I move a step before Jeremy Indoff, I win the race. I guarantee you I inhale Chapelier in the last turn. But that's hindsight. That horse was not as good tonight as he was last week. That horse was coming in sharp on a harder track while it was raining, hitting the bike nonetheless. This week, he just wasn't quite as good. Didn't look as sound to me. Maybe I just don't know the horse that well. He just didn't look as sound to me. But he finished up really strong and won the race. But I don't regret it because that is how I was never going to deviate from the way I was going to drive that horse tonight. That horse has been rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled. The only time I didn't end up on the front, near the front, or working hard the whole way was the start I took him back in Miami Valley. That's it. I guess the start in Northfield Park, but I really was going all I could go. And he worked very hard that week, too. I just, obviously, as I said, in hindsight, I'm like, geez, I wish I'd have moved him. I would have inhaled him. I didn't think that horse was going to be that vulnerable in the last turn. I thought he'd be a little vulnerable, but not that vulnerable. Or I would have. But it's really hard for me to get angry at myself for making a decision in hindsight. Because the way the race went, I was very aware of everything that was going on. And I made a very clear choice to not move at that moment. Maybe try and come out slow in front of Jeremy and then come. Jeremy wanted no part of that, and I wanted no part of moving 4 pylons back where he was underway. I dare say if I do move him there, I win. Jeremy might have got a bigger chunk. I guess he wasn't going to be worse than 4th. But it is what it is. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. That is how I wanted to race Looks Like Money tonight. It just didn't work out the way I wanted. But again, long term, and Johnny made a good point. He said, he can't go forever. Tonight was a good opportunity to punch that cash register button again. And I said, well, here's the thing. He's not 3. He's not 4. I can tell you a horse that's winning stays a lot fresher, a lot longer than a horse that isn't. So winning races and protecting the horse when we can will ensure that maybe when you think he might need a rest around November or December, he's just getting a second win. He's built for the Meadows right now. And I have no concerns about the longevity right now of Looks Like Money. And I'm the first one to say, I shouldn't have done that, or it was my fault. I'm unapologetic. It just didn't work out. I don't get to drive in hindsight any more than you do. And I was very aware, as I said, of everything that was going on during the race. And that was my choice. So it looks like Money will be better for that next week. As I said, listen, I'm an aggressive guy. You guys know that. But you just can't go to the well every week and race him and race him and race him and race him. Eventually, something's going to become rattly, right? He's going to start getting over on shaft a little more than he used to. Start running in a little more than he used to. Just want to keep him as good as I can for as long as I can. And that was that. So there you go. Mark drove Texong Soprano. I wasn't paying close enough attention. I didn't know he was driving Texong Soprano. He drove the horse well out of the 8-hole. Took a shot off the carb, ducked him in, got a bone. He can't ask for more than that. We were 5th. The only downside about tonight was Woodmere Betcha. Smitty texted me after and said, she's just not steering well right now. I believe that, I said that track was bad last week. Maybe your feet are hurting her. And that's indicative of a horse. You would notice that with a horse if their feet are starting to get sore. Getting out of gear, maybe perhaps making breaks in weird places, coming in and out of the turns. Then it would progress down that line to not steering as well. Smitty said he just had a full swedge on her. I said, if the tracks aren't deep, just put a set of flip-flops on her. Block her feet, do some work on her feet, and if you see her better, then that's what it was. But more times than not, when you see, she came out of that second turn, third turn in Summerside and made a break coming out of that turn. Yeah, that sounds like it could be feet for sure. Because I'd asked him, is she sore? Is there a vulnerable spot on this filly? Maybe that lag is bothering her that shut her down last year? Nope. He said, Anthony, there's no soreness. She is 100% sound. I said, okay, well, it's easy to find out. I don't want to say it's an easy fix. It sounds like an easy fix. Just put the flip-flops on her. Now beware. If the tracks are sandy or deep, those flip-flops may not work as well as you want. He said, no, the tracks are usually pretty firm. Easy fix. Put the flip-flops on her. And then you'll know. But if she's slipping, you're going to have to be aware of that also. So I think you're going to see Woodmere Betcha go back to her ways, her next start, be better, be stronger. And I think Smitty's 100% right. Probably your feet are bothering her a little bit. So those are the 3 horses tonight. A bit of a flat mile again, squandering some money with Woodmere Betcha. Looks Like Money was a very strong third. And Texong Soprano was as good as he could be from the 8-hole. He was 5th. So that is that. We have Friday out of the way. Obviously, Saturday's pretty soft. It's Amy and I's anniversary on Sunday. I think 13 years, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go out to dinner. I have a reservation for her and I. Heritage Steak and Whiskey. Something like that. I don't know what it is. Patrick the Piranha is going to be driven by Sean Johnson tomorrow. Rock Shining Star and Scioto will be there with Tyler. And Trosa races tomorrow at Mohawk. Sunday, a little bit of an odd day. We get the 8-hole with Neptune. Truthfully speaking, our best shot of the day, although they're both in tough. Arrowhead Hanover's in with Go Dog Go and a couple of good horses, short field, but he belongs. and also Spitfire Overseas getting around the track well. Bit of a bigger field this week with 9 horses. So we'll see how Tyler gets along with Spitfire Overseas on Sunday evening, and also Manhattan Money. So no locks, no big favorites for the rest of the weekend. We're going to do the best we can and see how it all shakes out. So my night is done. Ava's night is done. Blue Jays are winning 4-3. Highlight of the night so far. The rain just continues to come down in weird places. We drove through the sun and then just go right into a torrential downpour, and then drive out of it into the sun again, and did that 2 or 3 times on the way to the meadows. And here we are in the rain again on the way home. So I hope it's sunny tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great start to your weekend. It should be a lot of fun here for us. Busy weekend though. Ollie plays baseball tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning in Ohio. They're on their way back from Ontario right now. We're all the entire McDonald family is going to land in Brunswick around midnight. Ollie plays baseball at 10 a.m. And then we all collectively have the entire day of Saturday off. So I hope you guys have an easy, sunny, great weekend. Here, sincerity. I will talk to you all very soon.